인력 양성에 대한 의제는 전환의 시기를 맞이할 때마다 등장하고 있습니다. 디지털 인재 100만 명 양성, 반도체 핵심 인력 15만 명 양성처럼 야심찬 구호로서 국가의 포부를 강조해 왔는데요. 이번 세션에서는 AX 시대 해외 선진국은 어떤 미래 인재 양성을 실천하고 있는가를 주제로 국제기구 및 해외 선진국의 인력 양성 전문가들을 초청했습니다. 각 국가가 어떤 미래 인재 아젠다를 설정하고 또 실행하고 있는지 깊게 논의해 보도록 하겠습니다. 이번 세션은 고혜원 한국직업능력연구원 원장께서 좌장을 맡아주시고 정정카이 주한국타이베이대표부 참사관님, 키안훈관 싱가포르 테마섹폴리테크닉 테마섹스킬스퓨처아카데미 국장님, 로저 힐 미국 조지아대학교 교육학과 학과장님, 이타스 유코 일본 도쿄대학교 다학제정보학대학원 교수께서 발표를 해주시겠습니다. 고혜원 원장님과 연사분들을 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 따뜻한 환영 감사드립니다. 그럼 고혜원 원장님 진행을 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 앉아서 인사드려야 될 것 같습니다. 한국직업능력연구원 원장 고혜원입니다. 오늘 세션은 저희 크리벳이 심혈을 기울여서 사실 만든 세션입니다. 저희가 정부 출연 연구기관이기 때문에 인재 양성 정책에 대해서 연구를 계속하고 있고요. 향후에 정말 AI 시대에서 어떻게 인재 양성을 해야 되는지를 우리가 많이 연구를 해야 되는데, 오늘 이렇게 모신 네 나라의 네 지역의 분들이 각국의 이런 사례들을 저희한테 전달을 많이 해 주실 것으로 알고 있습니다. 그래서 또 앉아 있지 못하고 서 계신 분들 많은데요. 이렇게 성황리에 또 참여해 주셔서 감사드립니다. 직전에 저희가 인사를 나누면서 오늘 오디언스가 어떤 분들이냐 하고 굉장히 궁금했는데, 잠깐 확인해 봤더니 학부 학생도 좀 있고요. 대학원 학생도 있고요. 그리고 교수님들도 계시다고 들었습니다. 예, 참조해 주셔서 하시면 좋겠고요. 제가 제 왼편에 앉으신 분부터 소개시켜 드리겠습니다. 가장 가까이에서 오신 분입니다. 1시간 걸린 그 자리에 계셨던 정정카이 주한국 타이페이 대표부 디렉터십니다. 참사관님이십니다. 예. 예. 그 다음에 두 번째로 또 그렇게 멀지 않은 곳에서 오시긴 하셨지만 키안홍관 싱가포르 테마섹폴리테크닉 테마섹스킬스퓨처아카데미 국장님이십니다. 네. 그 다음 가장 멀리에서 오셨습니다. 로저 힐 미국 조지아대학교 교육학과 교수님이십니다. 네. 감사합니다. 그 다음에 또 가까운 곳에서 오셨습니다. 하지만 AI가 요즘 굉장히 일본이 앞서고 있다고 들었는데요. 이타스 유코 일본 동경대학교 다학제정보학대학원 교수님이십니다. 오늘 시간이 지금 시작을 해서 여러분 점심시간도 약간 좀 저희가 할애를 하는 시간이 12시 40분까지이기 때문에 좀 빨리 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 제일 먼저 발표를 정정카이 주한국 타이페이 대표부 참사관님께서 해주실 거고요. 15분 이내로 해주시면 매우 감사하겠습니다. 저쪽으로 나가서 부탁드리겠습니다.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Chen Kai Chen from Taiwan Ministry of Education. I think recently Taiwan is mentioned a lot in the world because of the AI. Why? Because the company called TSMC and also the company of NVIDIA. NVIDIA, the CEO was born in Taiwan, and the TSMC is a Taiwanese company, very big company. So today I'm here, feel very happy to share with you some information about Taiwan in terms of the AI implementation plan and procedure. Okay, in 2016, our president first initiated it's called Digital Country and Smart Island policy. And the next year, we initiate is the 9 years plan to execute the AI action plan. And the third stage, the policy was renamed called Smart National Plan. So today my presentation will focus on the most on the second stage. We will review the in the past what we implement in the AI, especially in education field. Okay, so based the previous, I just mentioned that right now it's called Taiwan's AI Action Plan second. In this stage, we do a lot to execute the AI implementation, especially in the field of the education. The AI action plan, we have focused on 3 targets. First is the industrialization and standardization of AI. It's regarding I think it's the field of the economy. We hope that the hardware and the software production will be exceed $250 billion NT dollars. And the second, the target, we try to use AI to solve the social problems like labor shortage. And the third one is to enhancing our national AI capabilities, especially in the field of the education. Because of the time limit, so I will condense my presentation a little. Okay, right now, this is the education field to implement this policy. Our ministry put the 3 levels to execute the plan. First is in the basic education, and the second is on the higher education. So in the basic education, the main purpose, the main project is to provide the AI situation to the students in hope that they will have a better understanding of the AI. And in the higher education, we try to let more students major in AI, technology, and also get the AI skills. In the basic education, we try to train the teacher, the school teacher, to see the teacher. This teacher will teach the student to have a better understanding about AI. And the ministry developed an application. It's called Making Friends with AI to the teachers to use and also to the student to use. So for the elementary school, primary school, the student, they will have a basic understanding about the AI. They will feel, we try to make them feel you have the interest in the AI. You don't have to be afraid of this kind of technology. And in the higher education, we try to provide the student with many opportunities to take the AI courses. In the basic education level, our government provide a lot of budget to execute this national plan. The aim is that every classroom have the online access, and every student have the tablet. This is our goal, and it's a 4-year plan, and the total budget that we put to implement this plan is around how can I translate it? 200 亿, yeah. It's the 20 billions NT dollars. It's around 8 billion. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. I'm not good at the math, though. Anyway, that's our goal. That because if you want the student to learn more AI or the digital course, you must have the the online access, like a Wi-Fi. And you also have the computer, the tablet to use it. So that's why our government want to put more money to implement this plan. Yeah. Oh, my time is passed so quickly. Okay. I will condense my presentation here is because I just give you an overview about what's happened in Taiwan, especially in the education. Like in the higher education end, our ministry developed, it's called Taiwan University AI College Alliance, KaiTech. That's the plan that around 25 universities join this plan, and the student of this university can take the course. It's called credit exchange course. It means if you are the student of A university, then you can take the course from the B university, and the A university will accept it. And so there's like an alliance, yeah. And right now it's around 25 universities join these programs, yeah. And also we have a special project for the graduate level that the student can take this program to enhance their, their professional skills about AI. So when they graduate, they can go to the job market and to have a better performance in their fields. So our target is that every year we have 450 students to take this kind of program. Okay, so this is the accomplishment that we expect. First is the AI research talent. We try to train 600 researchers in this field. And then we have the application talent. There are around 8,000 professionals annually. And then in the university level, we try to expand the enrollment quota for the university to recruit more students to study in this field. So in order to meet the future needs for the job market in the future, yeah. Next, this I want to show you that except the public sector, in the private sector in Taiwan, we have it's called AI Academy in Taiwan. This is a private foundation, but the president of this academy is the president of Cynical Academia in Taiwan. So this is very high level, like a training school. It provides a lot of online course to the people they need to accomplish in order to work in the job market. So every year, around 5,000 students, 5,000 people take this kind of course, and the effect is very good. Yeah. Also, I want to share with you about this is our Vice Minister of Education. He just announced that. Okay, this one. Okay, sorry. Yeah, in the AI, our minister, our vice minister, said all the high school student can take the elective courses in the school in order to learn more idea about the AI. So in the high school, we have this kind of program. We also have the hold the activity like AI competitions in order the student can compete each other. So in order to raise their interest about AI, yeah. So my time is limited. But I think that today is just a very basic about Taiwan to execute the AI plan. And I hope that in the future you have a chance to do the research or study in Taiwan. And our office here in Seoul would like to provide you more information. If you need more information about Taiwan's, especially in the AI implementation, please contact our office. Thank you very much.
예, 감사드립니다. 전체적으로 대만 교육부의 AI 인재 양성 정책도 설명해 주셨고, 기초교육에서 고등급 교육까지 AI 관련 교육이 확장되는 것을 설명해 주셨고요. 지금 말씀하신 대로 오늘이 첫 번째 스타트라고 생각하시고요. 향후에 타이완 관련해서 정책이나 이런 거에도 관심이 있으시면 대표부하고도 이렇게 협력을 하시면 많은 정보를 얻으실 수 있을 것이고요. 저희 기관도 그렇게 하도록 할 예정입니다. 지금 질문들을 많이 하셨네요. 예, 제가 이따가 정리해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 그러면 두 번째 발표자 키안훈 국장님께 발표 드리겠습니다.
Hi everyone, Guan here from Temasek Poly, Singapore. So thanks to CREVET, thanks to Korea Ministry of Education, and also thanks to Korea, the Korea Economic Daily for inviting me to come and share Singapore experience. So my agenda today, Singapore Skills Future Movement, the AI community in Singapore, and in Temasek Poly, what are we doing in AI? So I think first and foremost, okay, before I start, I'd like you all to meet two of my friends from Singapore, Dylan and Karen. Okay, who are they? Okay, Dylan, he's in his 20s. Okay, I can see some in the 10s and also 20s here. Yes, he's among you. He's a graduate from our Singapore Institute of Technical Education, similar to Korea Vocational High School. He came to Temasek Poly to take a part-time diploma while he was working. So for his enrollment, the government gave him $5,000 Singapore dollar to pay for the school fee. And once he's graduated, Singapore will also give him another $10,000 as a reward. Okay, I'd like you to move to another of my friend, Karen. Okay, Karen is in mid-40s, same as me. I'm in my mid-40s. She's a degree graduate 20 years ago maybe, a working mom in an IT firm. She came to Temasek Polytechnic also to enroll in a specialist diploma, so one level higher than the diploma, to upskill and to reskill in IT, in AI. Similarly, for her enrollment, government will give her $4,000 to pay for the school fee. And if she chooses not to work but come to study full-time, government will also give her another $3,000 as a living allowance. Okay. These are not fictitious characters. These are indeed real characters from us, Temasek Polytechnic. So Dylan, he graduated this year. Karen just finished her last semester in 2024. Yes, she'll be graduating next year. So these are real examples. So why do I want to show this example? Okay, very importantly, Singapore, we believe in human capital investment. Mr. Cheng shared that Taiwan wants to be a smart digital country. Similarly, Singapore also wants to be a smart digital nation. However, we are small. So I have a smart digital but small country, that's Singapore. So to do this, government effort, company effort, individual effort are coordinated by what we call the Skills Future Movement. So Skills Future Movement is a national movement that aims to provide Singapore with life opportunity to develop their fullest, whether you are in your 20s all the way to 50, 60, or even 70s. So this is a national movement to drive lifelong learning in Singapore. And The two schemes I shared just now, $5,000, $4,000, $10,000, they are also real schemes implemented this year. So this is the first scheme, the ITE Progression Award. So Dylan would qualify for this award, or whether is it for the school fee or whether is it for the 10,000 if he graduates. But the catch is he has to start schooling again. The point is start schooling again before the age of 30. So this is for them to pick up higher order skills, higher order knowledge so that they can have more career progression in the chosen professional. Okay, similarly for Karen, so it's also for mid-40s. If you're above 40, you come to upskill, reskill, because world changes. AI is so fast. We have also sustainability. We have even more things coming. So our government also wants to encourage more mid-careerists in their 40 and above to come and reskill, so that, again, we have better skill, we have better job prospect. The companies that we work with, whether local or globally, could also benefit from our upgraded or highly skilled workers in Singapore. I'd like to share more about the Skills Future movement. So besides rolling out initiatives to benefit individuals, we also look at what we call the skills framework. Singapore, again, a small country, but we need to be very focused. We are focused in the industry that we want to do and we want to do well. So with that, Skills Future, Singapore also leads government, leads company, and also leads individual to map up this the over 30 skills framework, covering the key industry sector that Singapore wants to do in, from professional services to built environment to engineering services, and very importantly, the digital economy. So digital economy today in Singapore contribute around 20% of Singapore GDP. So that's something we want to focus in. And I think in AI, so fast and furious. So this is some of our thinking how to use AI, especially in workplace. So number one, I think many of us today are using ChatGPT, generative AI to help in text generation, to help in image or even video creation. Yes, this will allow us to overcome diversity challenges in workplace. So that's number one. And in doing so, it spurs creativity. An engineer can now produce a video on his own. Accountants can now write very good speech for his bosses or for his minister. So that's what we are doing. And last but not least, in Singapore, our idea is that it is not an option. It is something that from individual to company to the government, that we want to use AI. It has become a necessity. It's no longer something that we can play with or something we can, okay, I want to do, I do. So it's something that is high on the national agenda. So with that, Singapore, last year, we relaunched or we refreshed what we call a National AI Strategy 2.0. This strategy was first launched in 2019. But I think with the acceleration of AI, we have to refresh this strategy. And there's two visions. Number one is excellent. Okay, I don't want to keep harping on the point that we are small, but indeed we are small, so we have to selectively choose the area we want to go into. So two areas especially, for public good, for Singapore, for the world. So we aim to develop, and I think we are doing quite well there, in population health and climate change. These are issues that concern everybody, whether in Singapore, whether in Korea, or whether in US or Europe. So that's something we want to do, and we want to do well. The other one, similar to Taiwan experience, we want to empower individual, business, and community, build the confidence, discernment, and trust. So we want to have that empowerment. So with that, we have also established what we call a AI Singapore. It was actually back then in 2017, bring together again the people, the company, and government, so as we can form a very holistic, comprehensive ecosystem to bring people, company, and government together. But what I want to stress down here is we don't forget our small companies, our small and medium enterprise SME. So there's dedicated resources to bring them along. So, okay, I think today news just came out from Singapore. Unfortunately, our SME are still not embracing as much as we want to do. So there's something we want to accelerate the effort to bring our local SME so that they are able to deal internationally, they are able to capture the business opportunity internationally. Okay. I'd like to move to the last part of my sharing, which is on Temasek-Polytechnic, what are we doing? We were established in 1990, a very young institute of higher learning. But what we take pride and we want to continue doing is to equip our students. Our students came from as young as 17 all the way to 70-plus-year-old. So through the different stages. And the Singapore narrative, our government narrative, is also we don't stop learning at 20, whether you are from Polytechnic or whether you are from the university. We plan around 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to even 70 and beyond. As long as any workers, any one individual want to work, we will invest in the capital for them to do so. So, yes, narrative again is also to equip them with the forever hunger to fish and to able not only to fish but also cook their fish well, so as to serve the community. Okay, so what are we doing in AI specifically? Our students today come to us as young as 17-year-old. You can imagine they have taken their primary school, secondary school, or their junior school. They are already talking about AI. So it's more important for our staff to know AI better and faster than the student. So we are preparing our staff, both our staff and students. At the same time, we are also training Singapore industry companies in the use of AI. To do that, we see very strong importance in working with industry, whether our local enterprise, whether government, and also some international companies and organizations. Okay, so how do we do it to prepare our staff and students? Number one, we have playbook. We developed this as early as in the early months of 2023, so AI playbook. Okay, because today in AI, we can see that there's potentially a lot of challenges, a lot of pitfalls that comes with the advantage that it brings. So we are mindful of this, so we want to guide our staff well so that they can use AI for both their academic as well as the administrative purpose well. And for student nowadays, including my kid, he's in his secondary one. He is using AI very fast and furious, and we are also mindful that we want to guide students to understand AI and to use it for their best of learning. And for staff, you can look at the course below. Over there, me as a director included, including my principal, all of us have to go through this mandatory training, whether from a design thinking, how to use it, responsible use, all the way for office, productivity, and teaching and learning. There's something that Temasek-Polytechnic has mandated all our staff to go through the training. But we spread the training. We don't do it within 1 month or two. I'm given up to end or mid-2026 to complete the training. So we don't rush into things, but we want to phase out also. Okay, furthermore, we train workers, we train companies. So we also partner, example, AWS, Udacity, and today we have 50 over courses. That could be a few day courses all the way to 1 year or 2 years kind of courses that we roll out. So intake enrollment is very strong and healthy. So we are very pleased to be able to work with companies, whether locally or globally. Okay, we also work with industry to launch Center of Excellence so that we can capture more opportunities, train our staff, train our students. So these are just some examples that we have done so. So with that, I'd like to come to my conclusion. So as shared, we want to be a small, we are a small country, we want to be a smart and digital country. The only resources that we probably have and want to build on is our population. So we believe in human capital. We spare no effort, we spare no resources to help our workers, whether they are in their 20s all the way to 60 and 70s, to train. And we'll provide them the opportunity, we provide them good training, the right training. And how do we do that? We have a national movement coordinated at government level to bring together companies, individuals, and the government itself to come together. And this is underpinned by a national movement adaptive framework. We're constantly looking out, we're constantly seeking partners, including the international community with CREVET, for example, to continue to develop skills, strengthen business competitive. And with that, we hope to bring together a supportive ecosystem locally and global player so that we can upskill, reskill for the public good and for the general and the world prosperity. So I think with that, thanks.
감사합니다. 시간도 맞춰주셨고요. 우리 키안홍관 국장님은 우리 한국에서 사실 스킬스퓨처가 굉장히 많이 알려져 있습니다. 단순히 평생학습뿐만이 아니라 어떻게 이게 AI 생태계 구축이나 인재 개발 방안까지 연결되는지 국가적 레벨을 설명해 주셨고 또 구체적으로 폴리테크닉 사례까지 제시해 주셔서 굉장히 많은 정보를 저희가 얻을 수 있을 것 같습니다. 나중에 또 질문하실 분들 준비해 주시고요. 세 번째 이제 미국 사례로 넘어가도록 하겠습니다. 라젤 교수님께서 미국의 사례에 대해서 발표해 주시겠습니다. 예, 프로페서 라젤, please give a presentation.
I'd like to begin by saying thank you. Every time I've been here, you've made me feel welcome. I appreciate your hospitality. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about work ethic and how that fits with the AI transformation that we're in the midst of. And I'd like to begin by talking a little bit about how we got here. I assume these eras are probably familiar to you. These are eras we talk about in the United States, in particular when we deal with work. We talk about an agrarian age, the time when most people were about getting their food, raising crops, animals, and other things. In the early to mid 1800s, we moved into an industrial age, where the majority of people began to work in industries and business to make things. And then in the 50s, we moved into an information age with the invention of the transistor and digital electronics. We now, in fact, I did earlier this year ask my students as we talked about this in our university class, how many of you make something? How many of you know how to make something? Could you make your coat? Could you make your shoes? Could you make this microphone? Anything that we're using. And we use these things, but most of us move information around and have for some time. In the early 2000s, Daniel Pink came up with another term called the conceptual age. And the conceptual age represents a change in the kinds of information that are being generated and the ways in which we are being productive in our businesses and industries. And so during the time period when this new term actually came to be, a colleague of myself and I were struggling with a question. You see, we're located in a department called Workforce Education, or a program called Workforce Education. And what we do is we prepare teachers who are going to prepare people for work, or university faculty who are going to do research and work in that area, but basically studying the workplace, the workforce, and how people get prepared for work. And we began to realize, particularly around 2005, 2006, and a little bit later, that we didn't really know what the work was going to be that people were being prepared for. So if you don't know what work is going to be, how do you prepare people to do that work? And that was a strong question for us and one that we struggled with a bit. And we ended up coming up with a model that we've used a good bit, and this is the model that would say that if we're going to prepare people for work, and this would include the AI workplace, and this is a strategy, if you will, for preparing people for that future, we need to focus on three things. We need to focus on innovation, and you can see there are some components of that. We need to continue to cultivate work ethic and effective work attitudes that support strong work. And we need to deal with career navigation. And I'm going to quickly touch on these, particularly in terms of innovation when we think about this new conceptual age, if you will. We need people who can do strategic inquiry. You may be familiar with a SWOT analysis. One of the ways that this sometimes is done is to ask people in a company to think about if you were working for your competitor, what would you do to put this company out of business? And have people think about the threats and the opportunities and all of the things about that strategically. Think about it. We need to have creative, ill-structured problem-solving capabilities, and we need to cultivate that. And if we look at what we're doing at the University of Georgia, one of the problems we're tackling currently is trying to figure out how AI can be used to evaluate assessments that are very time-intensive to evaluate. In science education, for example, we can ask multiple choice questions, we can ask other types of questions, short answer questions, but probably the best questions in that content area would be some that require a narrative response. It's very time consuming to grade those. And so people tend to just use quick to grade types of tools. AI, we think, is a system that might be able to solve that problem and give us some tools that can grade narrative responses, and we're working on that. We've just got $10 million to do that from our IES. Agility is important in our thinking. Persistence. Don't pointing fingers, just accept responsibility if we've been involved in something where something didn't go right. And empathy, the ability to be able to think about what another person is experiencing. All of these 5 things are an important part of what we call innovation. And cultivating skills in that area is important. It's important for the AI workplace, but it's also important for anything else out there in the future that we don't even know what it's going to be in the future. Work ethic is an area that I've worked with a good bit, and I have a good many slides I'll move through quickly to talk about that. But work ethic, and in particular, dependability, initiative, and interpersonal skills, those are defining constructs in work ethic as I talk about it, are very important. And they're very important in AI transformation. And I'll give you a few examples here in a minute on that. And then this third area, career navigation. In our schools, we start early with that. We may expose students that are in first, second, third grade to people that come into the class and say, I do this or I do that. And so the little girl or little boy comes home and they want to be a fireman or a policeman or a teacher or whoever they saw, a scientist that might have come into the classroom. And that may change over time, but we provide young children an opportunity to begin to explore what are they going to be. And so that progresses on through as we settle in on what we're going to do as far as a career is concerned. But it doesn't end. It's a lifelong process. We just heard how in Singapore, they're giving attention to some of these things with respect to AI all the way through the lifespan. And that's important. Particularly as AI is implemented in the workplace, we're finding two different things needing to happen. In some cases, it's upskilling, and in other cases, it's reskilling. Upskilling is where the job's not really going away, but it's changing significantly because of the implementation of AI systems. And so we need to train those folks and up their skills, so to speak. In other instances, AI might cause work to actually go away. And in those instances, we may need to do retraining of some type or reskilling. And so those three components in that model are places that we need to give attention as we develop strategies for keeping up with AI and other kinds of things and preparing people for work. And the area, as I said before, that I've spent a lot of my time with in terms of research and publications and things is this area of work ethic. So let me talk just a little bit more there. This is an area that has been around for a long time. I know back when I started my doctoral studies and began to think about what I was going to study, one of the things that I was struck by is that in the place I lived in the US, there was a lot of new industry and business coming in. And I thought that these industries and businesses that were moving into our area, I happened to be a part of a committee that was doing some recruiting to bring new companies in. And I thought that what they were going to be after is, okay, these people that are coming out of our schools are going to be prepared to do maybe some fundamental CNC, or they know a little bit about coding, or they know something about some technical skills. And guess what? Not what they were worried about. What they were asking is questions like, will these folks come to work? Will they come to work on time? Will they get along with others in the workplace? Because in most jobs today, it's not a solo type of an activity. You've got to get along with other people. And that was their big concern. And this whole area I'm talking about actually is work ethic. You know, will you show up? Will you do what you said you did? You were going to do? Will you get along? And so that area is something that I've spent a good bit of time with. I've developed some instruments to measure it. These three constructs are key pieces of that. You know, interpersonal skills, being able to get along, initiative, doing things even though I might not have been told to do it, and being dependable, and do what I say I'm going to do. And so these constructs are still very, very important in the AI transformation that we're experiencing now. A little bit of background here. I'm going to move through some of these fairly quickly. I would also say that work ethic is a subset of moral attributes or things that we need to think about. And certainly we need to think about as AI is implemented, how we treat people and what's happening to them. And so integrity, responsibility, fairness, caring, all of those kinds of things shouldn't get lost as we implement some of these new technologies. I would also mention that there's been a good bit of international research in this area, some here with Korea. In 2008, I had a doc student that did a translation of this OWI instrument into Korean and identified some constructs there. A little bit later, employability skills assessment was translated and some work was done. And in 2016, we developed these KISA factors. The person that did that work is in the room. And so when we think about work ethic and we think about artificial intelligence and how that's implemented, it doesn't matter what the language is, it's still going to be very important. And when we think about specifics, I've got 6 areas or 6 kind of examples of AI kinds of implementation where work ethic is an important component. So we think, you know, when we implement AI, we're going to do some IT modernization. That's one of the aspects of implementing AI. It's going to be very important that people stay on top of that and identify where it can really make a difference. People need to be able to take initiative and use interpersonal skills to explain things. I've found in my work at the university, some people who haven't had a lot of exposure to AI are concerned about it, in some cases even fearful. If we're going to implement AI in a workplace, we need to help people overcome those fears, and interpersonal skills are a big part of that. Another area, customer service workflows, and being able to kind of provide oversight of that and make sure that customers are getting what they need. Supply chain. If we implement AI to automate supply chains, typically people with a strong work ethic are needed as that takes place. You got to have people that are dependable. And again, you need people with good interpersonal skills. Human resources, AI is of course being implemented there. That's kind of a theme of some of the sessions here. And we need to be sensitive to that though. We need to have people who are monitoring that chatbot that might be a part of an HR system and be sure that people are being treated fairly and in sensitive ways. Marketing and sales, people working with AI certainly needs to be able to talk to the people in marketing and sales and make sure there's not a mismatch between the system and the customers, the clients, and then of course core business functions. Very, very important that those systems function and they're dependable and that good decisions are made by the team that's implementing AI in that particular environment. Just a final comment, and that's about workism. It's on the slide, a website, and thank you for your attention.
예, 감사합니다. 다들 시간을 잘 지켜주십니다. 로질 교수님께서는 기업들이 AI 기술을 어떻게 도입하고 있는지를 약간 설명하시면서 가장 평상시에 많이 연구하셨던 직업 윤리에 대해서 구체적으로 AI 시대까지 연결되는 5가지 직업 윤리도 설명해 주셨고요. 그리고 구체적으로 만약에 AI가 서비스에 도입이 된다면 어떻게 편향적으로 움직이지 않아야 되는지 그런 부분까지 다 이제 설명을 해 주셨습니다. 마지막으로 일본 사례에 대해서 저희가 알아볼 차례인데요. 이타수코 교수님께서 발표해 주시겠습니다.
Good afternoon. I would like to start by saying thank you to President Ko and all the organizers for their kind invitation. It's a real honor and delight to be here. As part of my work at the University of Tokyo, I'm the director of the BAI Global Forum. It is a research group that focuses on the social impact of AI, particularly how it impacts marginalized populations. And one of the ways in which we believe there could be a shortcut in solving these issues is by having a more diverse group of AI talent involved in design. So this is what I'd like to talk about today. I'd like to talk first about the global and domestic climate within which Japan's AI talent exists, and also talk about the various incentives in the workplace and academia. So before I begin talking about Japan, I just want to make a brief point about how rich East Asia is when it comes to the diverse ways in which we understand AI. And so this is an international survey conducted 2 years ago. On the x-axis is the level of is the number of people who said they have a good understanding of what AI is, and the y-axis is the number of percentage of people saying they trust companies that use AI as much as other companies. And as you can see here, South Korea is there's a lot of people who have good confidence in their understanding of AI, whereas in Japan, very little confidence in their knowledge of AI. In fact, it's the lowest amongst all these countries that were surveyed. And then also, if we look at the trust that people have towards companies that use AI, South Korea and Japan have similar mediocre trust, which we can say. Whereas in China, you can see that there's a lot of people are confident in their understanding of what AI is and also have high trust in companies that use AI. So just amongst our neighboring countries, we can see a real difference in the way AI is understood. But if we focus our attention to Japan and Korea, you can see something quite starkly different here in terms of the impact it's had on our daily lives. This is a survey asking if products and services using AI has had profound influence or change in people's daily lives. You can see that in Korea, which is the dark blue, many people have said that in the past 35 years, there's been a great influence, and they can also anticipate great change in the future. Whereas in Japan, there's been half of the people, compared to South Korea, said they have experienced profound difference. But they anticipate great change, which means that maybe Japan's been rather slow in implementing AI technology in their daily lives, or people don't see it. Here's another example where they were surveyed about the use of generative AI in corporations. The light blue is world average and dark blue is Japan. You can see here that in all levels of the corporate ladder, Japan is rather slow, or they've been implementing generative AI from leadership, management to the office level, even compared to the world average. Now, the corporation or industry is not the only way to measure how AI technology is implemented and developed. So let me show you one statistic of the number of peer-reviewed AI publications by institutional affiliation. And this is a comparison between China and the USA. You can see that in China, government dominates AI publications, whereas in the US, it's corporations that lead AI publications. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's worth thinking about where the money is for AI research and where the people are. So now let's focus on Japan. So this is from the white paper, digital transformation white paper from last year. If we step back and look at the digital transformation efforts in Japan by industry, we see here that the agriculture and forestry lead the DX efforts alongside IT and banking in Japan. Perhaps what's surprising is that manufacturing, service, and retail industries have shown limited abilities in their DX effort, with less than a quarter of the companies being able to put in that investment. So the question is, why is that? And here is some statistics that can tell you why. Basically, all of this shows that Japan has insufficient talent when it comes to AI talent. We get a glimpse here from this comparison between Japan and the US, the dark, it might be a bit hard to read, but the dark blue shows that people answered that they have ample talent. Orange is sufficient talent, pink is insufficient talent, and blue are the people who said it wasn't a necessary talent to have in their company. And if you just look at Japan's statistics, you can see that there's an awful lot of pink meaning that there's a strong need, or there's a real strong understanding that there's insufficient AI talent. And this is across all different categories, such as management with AI knowledge, ability to develop and develop products and services using AI, developing innovative AI algorithms, or writing academic papers, or using or having AI talent who can develop can do AI development using software and systems. So there's clearly a very stark difference between the US and Japan when it comes to AI talent. And here's just one more kind of evidence to prove this point. When asked what the concerns were with using generative AI, the top concerns in the US were technical risks in implementation, difficulty in getting consensus for the various uses. Whereas in Japan, the top concerns were that there were no talent with the necessary skills, they didn't have the know-how to implement, or in fact that they didn't know of any use cases. So we're quite behind and we're trying to play catch up. Now, what kind of ways are we trying to play catch up? So there are many incentives by corporations and government to upskill and reskill. There are many kinds of online courses that encourage reskilling in these areas. Companies are very happy to pay for their workers to take these courses, and the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry have been very happy to offer subsidies to mitigate the cost for the corporations. Sometimes these can cost up to somewhere about $2,000 or so, and companies are happy to do this for each employee. When it comes to incentives in universities, there are many incentives right now. The Japan Science and Technology Agency have designated AI research as a strategic area where they want to boost their talent. They've selected 29 universities to offer PhD student fellowships. This is called the Boost Initiative, and if you Google this, you'll be able to find more information about this. And I'm speaking specifically here to the young people in the audience here. I want to share this. This is a scheme from the JST, and they currently have a lot of funding for people who want to pursue AI in PhDs. There's two different kinds of funding schemes. One is a funding scheme that covers a lot of people, 10,800 students every year, 2 million Japanese yen. The other scheme is for the elite group, 600 students, 3.9 million yen annually. And so what you can see here is that if you actually, some of the students get both combined, and if you combine the two, then it could become roughly the equivalent of the salary that early career people might receive in corporations. And so they're trying to stop people from finishing their masters and then just going into corporations. They're trying to keep more people in academia, at least to pursue their PhDs before maybe going into corporations or pursuing a career in academia. So I'm going to conclude my thoughts here. Japan is experiencing a shortage of AI talent, and that shortage has not necessarily been noticed in the industry sector as much because of the relatively slow DX transformation, digital transformation that has been happening in Japan. However, this trend is changing. As as population is shrinking, the workforce is shrinking, the population is aging, and also because of the pandemic, there's been a work culture shift post-pandemic, which gives companies a very strong wake-up call to incentivize digital transformation in their workplace and to automate their workflow. Given these trends, young people are flocking to study AI and generative AI because it puts them in a very good position. It puts them in a good position in a seller's market where companies and researchers are desperate to get good talent. But I want to end with this question of what is good AI talent? It often means that people have good technical and engineering skills when it comes to AI. Whether it's designing algorithms or coming up with new ways to maximize efficiency. However, sending AI talent, if you define it as such, just with the technical knowledge, if you send AI talent into the world without ethical education, it's like putting a teenager in a sports car without teaching them how to use the gears and brakes. I find it's reckless and will have long-lasting legacy on how humans will interact with machines. In Japan, AI technology is implemented with a rather short-sighted vision with the products. It's often just something to stop gap. It's something that will halt problems or solve problems initially. But there's very little foresight into how it will impact in the long term. This is exactly why, as we heard in the keynote speech, learning history is important. We need to learn about how humans have dealt with the advent of new technology. Who has had the power to implement? Who are the stakeholders? Who were the people who were left behind? And what kind of impact and damage did that have? Too often, ethics takes a back seat in this conversation. But by the time the ethicists, the ethics specialists, get involved, it's sometimes too late because there's been way too much money that has been invested into this product or this invention, this new design. So I would like to end by saying that I believe now more than ever, actually, AI talent needs to be more multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. We need far more people in the humanities and social sciences who have a basic knowledge of AI so that they are more aware of the needs. It needs to be more need-based design, human-centric design, where the needs come first, so that, as my Singaporean colleague mentioned, it's AI for public good. Thank you.
예, 감사드립니다. 사실 그 사이에는 일본의 AI에 대해서 우리가 사실 몰랐었는데 사실 수준이 굉장히 높습니다. 구체적으로 말씀을 안 드렸었는데요. 지금 그 이타스 유코 교수님께서는 일본과 미국, 한국 이렇게 비교하시면서 AI에 대한 인식이라든가 역량에 대한 그런 내용도 말씀해 주셨고요. 마지막으로 이제 놓치지 않은 게 그 AI 윤리와 관련된 사회적 문제를 정말 다학제적으로 해야 될 필요가 있다라는 말씀 많이 하셨습니다. 이따가 이 세션 이후에 오후의 세션이 AI에 기반한 고용 서비스에 대한 내용입니다. 우리나라에서 AI가 굉장히 많이 활용되는 분야가 지금 정부가 추진하는 고용 서비스이거든요. 기회가 되시면 이따가 그것도 저희 기관에서 만든 세션이니까 보시게 되면 여러 가지 윤리와 관련된 문제를 또 얼마나 편리한지를 또 아실 수가 있을 것입니다. 오늘 이제 네 분의 발표를 종합하면 AX 시대에 맞춰서 각국이 전부 다 인공지능 기술에 특화된 미래의 인재 양성을 다 추진하고 있다는 것을 확인했고요. 그럼에도 불구하고 인공지능 전환의 시대에 가장 중요한 것은 기본인 윤리 부분이 분명히 존재한다는 말씀을 다들 해주신 것 같습니다. 그래서 먼저 이 세션 시작하기 전에 사실은 기본적으로 공통 질문을 조금 드린 게 있습니다. 그래서 먼저 여러분들의 Q&A를 하기 전에 먼저 질문을 드리겠습니다. 제가 우리 네 분의 프레젠터한테 전부 다 공통으로 드리는 질문인데요. 각국 정부가 전부 다 AI 인재 양성을 위해서 굉장히 많은 전략들을 만들어내고 시행하고 있는데 이 전략을 통해서 예상되는 주요한 성과가 어떤 걸로 보시는데 단순히 AI 시대니까 필요하다 그런 게 아니고요. 국가 전략적으로 어떠한 그 예상을 하고 계신지 그리고 성과가 있다 그러면 어떤 식으로 혹시 평가를 좀 하셨는지, 굉장히 교육이 많이 일어나지고 있는데 그 교육에 대한 효과나 이런 거를 평가한 적이 있는지, 그거를 공통적으로 질문을 드리겠습니다. 혹시 어느 분께서 먼저 대답하실까요? 네.
Hello. So I believe that in Japan, AI is the magic ingredient that will bring Japan out of the 30-year stagnation in their economy. So if that is the case, and if the government believes that, then the indicators of the strategies, whether it's been a successful strategy, is when the economy picks up. That's what I might say. It's when there are more startups, when their companies are far more efficient, and if it has an impact on economy as a whole, I believe that's when they can assess that the AI strategy was successful.
간단하게 정답을 말씀해 주셨는데요. 혹시 다른 분께서는 예, 여기.
I think how we evaluate success with AI really depends on who you are and what perspective you're coming from. So if I'm a business person and I'm looking at the bottom line, I just want AI to make me money. But if I'm concerned about people, I might be looking at AI and seeing and judging its success by how it empowers people, and in particular how it empowers people who have maybe been left behind previously. AI, as does many types of technology, has tremendous potential to increase diversity, to increase possibilities for people who maybe have not been empowered in the past. And so if I'm looking at it from that perspective, then I would be looking at those metrics to see what impact has it had on them. I think that's where ethics fits into the picture, and why the comments that have been shared here about how in many instances AI systems are being developed in a void of ethical considerations is a huge concern, or should be. And so I think we need to somehow put more of a spotlight on that area and try to encourage evaluations that incorporate more than just the bottom line in any way that's possible.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, probably I just want to add on, for Singapore, we will use the GDP as a measurement. So today, the digital economy, including AI, is around 2-something%, and we just received news that we have dropped a little by around 3%. Yeah, so that's something we are very concerned. But okay, but having said that, I also want to cover the ethics part. In Singapore, we have some thinking along the line that we need to let AI to be able to free flow, to be able to thrive in an unconstrained way. However, we are also mindful of the ethical issue, and hence what we are doing is we are using our common law, our personal protection law, some of the other laws, some of the existing law to govern the use of AI. So with that, we have put together some legal framework that tap on existing law to help govern, and at the same time, so that it can allow AI to thrive in Singapore and through working with our international partners. Yep.
Yes, I think we should be the master of the AI. Now, AI is the master of the human. So when we apply the AI technology to to our life or to the working place or to the school, you have to be careful because if we use it in wrong way or false way, it could be a disaster in the future. Right now, I think in the world, a lot of fraud or scam happen by using the AI technology. So a lot of people suffer the disaster. So I think in the future, especially the nation have to very careful and stimulate the guideline and the guidance for using AI in the future. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다. 저희가 사전에 질문은 준비했지만 지금 올려주신 질문들을 보니까 굉장히 사전에 각국별 사례들을 미리 알고 계신 여기 청중들이 많으신 것 같습니다. 올려주신 질문을 한번 제가 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 예, 조금 간단한 건데요. 우리 정정카이 디렉터한테 부탁을 드리겠습니다. 타이완이 모든 교육기관과 학생들이 공통으로 접근할 수 있는 AI 교육 플랫폼이 있다고 들었는데 혹시 추가 설명을 해주실 수 있을까요? 예.
But I just mentioned that in Taiwan we spend a lot of money to execute the policy called every classroom online and tablet for every student. So the government is a 4 years plan, and next year is the final year. And so far, the implementation is well executed. And we also know the ministry also developed the platform in the website to help students. It's a real time help if the student have the problem or a challenge to learn AI courses. They provide real time assistance. So this is I think it's very helpful for our students to learn the AI courses. Thank you.
예, thank you. 감사합니다. 다음으로 키안홍칸 디렉터에게 질문을 드리겠습니다. 예, 이제 팝업 될 텐데요. 예. 아마 아까 말씀하신 내셔널 AI 스트래티지 2에 굉장히 관심을 가졌나 봅니다. 그래서 거기에 대해 질문하셨거든요. 예.
Okay, with regards to the tools of the AI, for Singapore, we don't favor any tools or we don't want to prescribe any tools from any companies or any country. We are an open economy, we are an open country. We work and thrive based on common interests. So whatever works for us, we want to embrace it. We are very happy to talk and to engage from companies, from countries, be it from the Asia, to Korea, to China, to US. So that's our principle. We work and we want to engage based on common interests. Yeah, but I just want to share a bit on some of the national AI strategy, some of the programs. One of it, not sure if the audience know, we have this AI verified consortium that we set up, bringing together again government companies, including foreign and overseas companies, to work we've gathered. Very importantly, again, we want to be able to use AI and also use it in an ethical way. So that's the consortium. We also set up, I think, in 2022, a digital center that looks into AI, developing solutions. So these are the two big efforts. One, AI verified, that we want to use it to govern, want to ensure proper ethical use of AI. The other one is a digital center that we want to work with companies, want to work with countries on common interest to use AI. Same thing again for public group. Yeah.
예, 감사합니다. 예, 다음 로조일 교수님께 질문이 올라갑니다. 예. 평생 학습과 관련된 아마 대학에서의 교육기관의 준비를 얘기하는 것 같습니다. 앞에 보신 질문으로 대답해 주시면 되겠습니다.
So the question has to do with how we need to prepare people, given that they may change jobs 3 or 4 times. I do think that the model that I shared that involves career navigation actually speaks directly to this, emphasizing the importance of work ethic, dependability, initiative, and interpersonal skills, and trying to cultivate innovative thinking are key ways to prepare students to be able to shift jobs. It's a reality that the workplace of today is being impacted by AI and other factors. And oftentimes work changes. And as I noted on one of the slides, we talked about upskilling versus reskilling. And in some instances, that's going to be the case with these changes in jobs. In other instances, people kind of come to a realization that they are not being fulfilled in what they're doing. My kind of home discipline, if you will, is engineering and technology education and preparing teachers and students in that area in our schools or in universities. And many of the teachers that we have going into our schools are practicing engineers who have decided that for whatever reason they're kind of tired of doing engineering. They like people, they like the opportunity to teach, and they change careers and go into that. And it's an example of people making a choice, not because of money, because in the United States at least, teachers don't make the kinds of money that engineers do. But there are other things that are important in life. I think COVID and getting locked down for a year, 2, 3, whatever it was, certainly our lives were disrupted quite a bit. How much they were disrupted varied globally, but it caused people to realize, kind of stop and think, what's this all about that I'm giving my life to as far as work? And in many instances, people kind of reframed things. And it's had a marked impact on how people work. There's a lot more remote work going on, but also has caused people to kind of rethink, what are their values? And in some instances, people make decisions not because it's going to be great economically, but because it's fulfilling. And I think in a way that is something that is important to communicate as we prepare people for work, to help folks know that it's okay to make a decision to change work. One of the things we deal with, again, one of the courses that I'm teaching have this semester is first-year students. It's their first semester at the university. And I tell them, you're probably going to change your major. You may change it twice. You may change it 3 or 4 times. And some of them have only been at the university now for, a couple of months, and they've already changed their major. But to be able to communicate, that's okay. Explore, figure out what you want to do. And if you thought you wanted to do that, and now something's different and you're thinking differently, change that if at all possible so that you can be more fulfilled and kind of like what you're doing. It makes a big difference in work performance if we like our work.
네, 땡큐 감사합니다. 다음으로 이타스이코 교수님께 일본 사례에 대해서 질문을 드릴 예정입니다. 질문이 굉장히 재미있습니다. 예, 아까 이제 한일 비교도 하시고 국제 비교하시면서 AI에 대한 그 인식이나 역량에 대한 이런 비교를 해주셨는데요. 일본이 문화적 차이로 인해서 오히려 본인들의 역량을 좀 과소평가하거나 이런 거 아닌 건지에 대한 질문이거든요. 예, 대답해 주시기 바랍니다. 예.
I agree. I think there are certain parts. There is great research that is being done in the field of AI in Japan. There are wonderful institutes. There are wonderful roboticists that really are doing cutting-edge things and are really challenging our understanding of what human-to-computer interaction should look like. People like Professor Ishiguro Hiroshi, as you might know. So I don't mean to say that Japan, there's just a very low understanding of AI. But what I would like to say is that in terms of the general public's understanding of what AI technology, especially generative AI technology, can do, there's a real hype about the kind of optimistic outcomes that can happen. However, there's not enough dialogue about what are the kind of pitfalls, what are the dangers, what are the tricky parts. And I believe that's going to have a big impact on our society when we don't discuss these things, because the difference about generative AI is that there's so much that is going to be baked, there's so much data that is used, and that data is, while it's incomplete and while it's a little bit biased, that's going to be serving as the mirror of our society. That's going to be considered a small kind of extract of our society as a whole, and so it brings a biased view about Japan, I think, or about our society. So I think in terms of that, the cultural humility that you mentioned in the question is definitely true. But at the same time, there is some truth to the fact that there's more education that is needed, especially when it comes to the ethics part.
예. 감사합니다. 한 가지 더 이타스이코 교수님께 질문을 드리겠습니다. 질문이 좀 많아서 AI 인재를 기르는데 아까 고등교육에서 여러 인센티브가 있다고 말씀을 하셨습니다. 그러면 AI에 관심이 높고 활용하는 나라들이 이런 인센티브 시스템만을 사용했을까? 인센티브 우리나라에서도 인센티브를 결국은 많이 주게 되는데요. 아마 모든 정책이 이런 방향으로 갈 수밖에 없을 것 같기도 한데 인센티브 지원금이 과연 답일까? 그런 질문이 되겠습니다.
That's a really great question. I appreciate this. I don't know whether just money is the right way to give incentives. In fact, I think certain fields, if we think about all of our disciplines that we're familiar with, not all of us just went in because of economic incentives. Not all of us went in because there were funding available. I'm a historian by training. There's very little money in history, but we went into it because we find value in it. And I think that's going to be really important for all the AI talent who go in. If they go in for the wrong reasons, which is just maybe money, then I think we will have a very skewed kind of motivation that is being consolidated into inventions and innovation. I hope that whatever field that people are in, they will be able to find a connection to this latest technology and how it's going to impact their lives. I think there might be other ways to incentivize as well. Perhaps it's the international collaboration that might happen. I think that's really quite exhilarating when it happens well. Also, political reasons should not be ignored either. I think a really important point that I actually do want to make sure that I mention today is that this conversation about AI ethics is led by a lot of AI talent who are based in the US and in European countries. And so all of these, the fundamental philosophy that they might have things in common with each other. But if we are not to repeat the same kind of imperial history that we had in the previous centuries, then we need to have a louder voice as East Asia or as Asia as a whole. And the difference between European voices versus Asian voices is that the European voices might be more uniform, whereas the Asian voices, when it comes to AI ethics, is going to be very diverse. And that diversity is exactly what we offer from our kind of regional bloc, I think. So by having these conversations early on and being part of the international frameworks and international agreements, trade agreements that are currently being negotiated, I think that can change the landscape in which we see a different kind of global structure, a dynamic. And I think that's also something to bear in mind.
예, 감사드립니다. 그 여러분들이 질문에 충분한 대답을 할 수 있는 시간이 되지는 못했지만 오늘 어쨌든 한 네 나라의 여러 사례를 보시면서 정책적 시사점을 좀 많이 얻으실 수 있는 기회가 되지 않았나 싶습니다. 오늘 이 세션이 우리가 네 나라의 사례들을 보면서 공부하는 처음 시작이니까요. 앞으로도 혹시 뭐 궁금한 사항이 있거나 이럴 때는 저희 기관으로도 이제 문의도 해주시고 아까 타이베이 같은 경우는 또 해주신다고 정보를 제공해 주신다고 했으니까요. 그렇게 접촉해 주셔도 될 것 같습니다. 오늘 이 네 분의 발표자에게 다시 한번 큰 박수 주시기 바랍니다. 예, 그러면 예, 오늘 저희 한국직업능력연구원이 마련한 저희 세션 마치도록 하겠습니다. 예, 다시 한번 감사드립니다.
네, 대만과 싱가포르, 미국과 일본에서 AI 정책과 인력 양성을 어떠한 방향성을 갖고 진행하고 있는지 들어보셨는데요. 많은 분들이 심도 있는 논의에 참여해 주셔서 더욱 유익한 시간이었던 것 같습니다. 훌륭한 견해 나누어 주신 고혜원 원장님과 연사분들께 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 네.